I know you may have answered this indirectly, but what type of a lecturer are you? Are you the strict or strict cool mom? Are you the sweet one? When you walk in, do your students go like, "Hey, Ufike, let's do things right"? What's
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Or rather all three.
Okay.
I do have a level of strictness.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to do that. Sometimes students will climb on top of your head and dance.
Sure.
So strictness is necessary, but because of my personality, I like to laugh and have fun. So I bring that into my lectures too.
Okay.
We make jokes, we laugh, but I make sure when it's time to work, we really work.
Okay.
If students are not performing, I am going to find out from you what is going on.
Do you call them out? Are you like the hands-on lecturer? Like,
Yeah.
let's email the student.
Yeah, I do call them out. These students, and it's better now because of the intimacy of my
Your group.
groups. I remember there's just faces that I've never seen in my life. And I say, sir, I really don't know you. I don't know you. I've never seen you before. So it's that type of a relationship. I really encourage them deeply. And we do module and teacher evaluations where students will say what type or how they feel about the module you know about these ones, right? So the comments I get are usually that she's always on time. She's passionate about the teaching. It's one said it's a calling.
Love that.
And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So those are the types of comments that I get, that I'm very interactive. I want them to speak, talk to me.
Yes.
I don't treat it as me standing there and sort of just giving you information.
Yes.
Like, make it a conversation. So my classes are very conversational. That's the type of lecturer I'd say I am.
You interact a lot.
I interact a lot.
So you don't get to class and say chapter 1 and then you read chapter 1.
No. That's because I was a student. I know what I liked as a student too.
And like, you're also still like young and fresh, so you know what worked and what didn't work for you as well.
Yes.
You know, like, now that you speak about being interactive, I actually miss Dr. Fari's classes because she had these cute little stories and it was always fun being taught by her. Like, you see it, you imagine it, and you become part of it. And the whole thing of interacting, you're able to remember, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. And then Bali Patela Shop.
Yeah, we get paid well. Yeah, we get paid well.
So can I go pop dumpere on kachelete ya una lecture?
I was so pop too. But we're happy.
You're happy.
It was quite a jump from the assistant lecturer salary to lecturer salary.
So maybe, if you don't mind, can you take us through when a person starts and then meet and then what they can look at once they are fully in the position?
Okay. So when you start, it's okay. So as a tutor, you're looking at like 7, right? As an assistant lecturer, you're looking at around 18.
Okay.
And
is this what comes into your account, or is this gross?
This is what comes to you.
Okay.
Yeah. This is after deductions.
Okay.
You're looking at about 18 or so. And then as a lecturer, permanent, you are looking at about... It's very hard to say because now you are...
You know what you just did there? You sound like those people at the awards when they say the winner of the... And then they keep quiet because I was ready to hear...
She's
like,
coming.
She's coming. Come with it. Now this is my dream job. This interview is one of my favorites because I'm taking it too seriously.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you why it's hard to say. It's because you structure it. Okay. So basically you say, pension. This is how much I want to go towards pension. Okay. You say 13 check. I want it at the end, or I want it divided throughout the year. Okay. So it's very hard to say.
Oh, so you can divide your 13th check.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, is it also a thing of where you pay your 13th check yourself, or is from the institution? Because I once heard of the notion of apparently there are companies where you contribute to your 13th check, like they deduct you.
I don't know what that means.
So they would deduct you a certain amount, like let's say it's 1,000. Then you get it as a 13th check. So it's almost as if you're saving. It's not from the company.
No.
Oh, okay. So you actually get the actual 13th check.
Yes.
Okay. Then you decide whether you
If you want to spread it through, or you want it as a full salary at the end.
Okay.
So it's difficult, but to give a figure, let's say plus minus 60 thereabout.
Okay.
Yeah.
That comes into your account.
No. This is before.
Gross.
Yeah.
No, but even if it's 60, do you remember Mara, he used to work, Professor Lekwaela.
Oh, yeah.
Like, his cars, they were the reason that I'd be like, I can be a lecturer,
and a motorbike and stuff. Yeah.
His motorbikes and stuff. But he does so much.
That's exactly where I was going with it. So if you want, you can't look at people and think, oh, they're only doing that. Academia is very flexible, like I said earlier. So your hours are flexible. They allow you to engage in other things too. Of course, then you have to declare though to the institution if you are engaging in other work. But it is very flexible to allow you to branch out.
Okay.
Yeah, but financially we're good. We're happy.
Oh, Limonette. I can see, especially at that institution.
I mean, there's room for growth. There's room for growth.
But no, I love that. So if a person is looking to apply for a job, where do they go to?
So normally institutions will have an internal portal where they advertise positions. It's either that or they will use other platforms like your PNet and so on. So if you hear about a position, you can go and apply with PNet via the. But normally it's not the assistant lecturership that's advertised. It's a lecturer position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you apply via that platform.
Okay. That's nice. So, and then what is the interview process like? Is it hard being interviewed as a lecturer or?
Yes, because the dean will also sit in, probably.
Okay.
And that's slightly intimidating. But I think it's like any other interview process, really. The panel will be people who are well versed.
Okay.
And people who specialize in probably the area that you specialize into. So yeah, it's like any interview, really.
Okay.
I can't say there's anything really special about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about flexibility, ne? Because I've heard that like real teachers, they don't get leave because they go on holidays when school kids are on semester breaks or whatever the case may be. Is it the case with lecturers, or you guys still get like your 21 days of leave or whatever?
I haven't really looked into that for us specifically. What I do know is the issue of sabbatical. When you take an extended leave, and you'll obviously state reasons why.
Do you get paid when you're on sabbatical?
I'm not gonna lie, I am not sure.
Oh, yeah. I was going to
I'm
say,
not
right now, I'm going to search for the jobs because I'm planning a sabbatical.
I really am not sure.
Okay.
But about the annual leave, I can't really give a definitive answer.
So you never really take leave?
Yeah, because I've never but I do think your sick leave is obviously
available.
applicable. Yeah. The 21, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been in a position where you like starstruck when you met some of the people that you wanted to be like lecturers? Did you have like your idols where you're like, as a lecturer, if I can be this person?
Yeah.
How did meeting them make you feel?
It was exciting, but of course also I needed to stop being a student.
Come be a friend.
And be a colleague.
We'd work here.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, there was only one example of a female young Black lecturer that I had, that we had really. So she was naturally my idol. She was naturally the person that I looked up to. Again.
Yes.
So I would just, at the time she was still Mukwena, and I would always say, "Morning, Mus Mukwena," and she's like, "Please stop. Please just call me by my name. We're colleagues.
We're colleagues now."
So it takes a while, and also it's out of respect too. that I'll address certain colleagues by doctor such and such,
Yes.
prof such and such. I don't want to seem disrespectful.
Yes.
Yeah. So
No,
I was a little starstruck in the beginning.
Okay, I love that. And then, do you have any plans? Oh, okay. Also, Ngati, I omitted a lot of things. Did I mention that you're a doctorate candidate?
Oh yeah, we don't talk about my doctorate yet.
Yes.
Yes, I
So,
am.
how have you been finding that experience doing your PhD?
Yeah,
And yeah,
it's been challenging in its own right. I think I should mention this to anybody who wants to venture into academia. There's flexibility, yes, but it requires a substantial amount of discipline
yes.
because you don't constantly have somebody, asking you to meet targets, maybe daily targets, weekly targets. So you kind of in your corner. So you need discipline. It's the same thing with postgraduate studies like your PhD. You need discipline.
Sure.
You need to find a way to still lecture, still do everything that's required on that side, but not let the research aspect suffer.
Okay.
So I think in the beginning, it was really difficult for me to find that balance. My lecturership duties were really almost overtaking the research aspect. So I would not be writing as much as I should have been.
Sure.
So in hindsight, I look and I think, hey man, I think I didn't manage my time properly and I wasted some time there.
Sure.
But my PhD is based on social protection for informal traders. So my interest in labor law and social protection is from that aspect of workers who currently don't have any protection. And informal workers do not. They're not recognized as employees, so they will not find protection in your Labor Relations Act, BCA, nothing. So the fact that I really am passionate about those workers is what drives me to write this PhD and finish it. So sometimes it gets lonely. Again, you don't constantly have somebody asking you to meet targets. You will speak to your supervisor here and there. She'll say, I want the chapter by this time. I want the chapter by this time. How far are you doing? And so on and so forth. So it can be a bit of a lonely journey. And that loneliness will kind of lead you to be fatigued a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And not do the work. And then you fall behind.
Yeah.
So I would say kind of for anybody who wants to pursue a PhD, do it in something you're really interested in.
Sure.
Because the fatigue will come. That much I can tell.
Yeah.
The fatigue will come. Maybe sometimes you'll feel a little bit disinterested. But if it's something that you love, that fatigue and disinterest is only temporary. It will definitely fall away.
Sure.
So yeah, that's been the journey. And I'm hoping to submit soon this year.
Okay, are you going to finish it this year?
I'm finishing
How
it this
many
year.
years have you been at it?
So I registered in 2020, so this is year 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, you get 3 to 5 years.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's good. Are you doing it because that was part of the plan or it's part of the requirements?
It's part of the requirements. It's an inherent requirement of the
Unfortunately.
job. It's an inherent requirement of the job.
Okay.
You have to have that level of qualification.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you please quickly take us through the requirements of making lecturer?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the basics ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you obviously need a master's. You need a PhD or be registered in doing a PhD.
Okay.
At lecturer level, they don't really look at your research and publication yet. So like I said, research and innovation is a key element of any higher learning institution. So publications are your KPIs, and your
Okay.
targets.
Okay.
But at lecturer level, they're not looking at that. At minimum, if they are, it would be probably like 1-2 publications.
Okay.
Yeah. At minimum, that's really what I would say. A master's, a PhD, or registered to do a PhD, and some publications.
Okay. Do you need to have some sort of lecturing, tutoring experience?
Yeah, that's really of benefit, which is
Okay.
why transitioning from assistant lecturer to lecturer was always, I don't want to say easy, but it was, for lack of a better term, let's say the easier route
Okay.
because I was already doing the job
Okay.
and I had already published.
All
So
right.
now I just kind of moved towards the permanence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my last question, they seems to, from my experience, right, transitioning from university into the workplace, it was so hard. It almost felt as if I had wasted 4 years of my life doing the LLB because there was so much learning we needed to do. Do you think there's a gap between university and the workplace? And if there is, how do you think we can rectify that?
I do think that the gap exists. There were certain things that I also, when you start a particular module, at the end of it, you kind of do a checklist and see what did I achieve this or whatever I thought I was going to learn, did I? And some modules I found at the end that, no, but I didn't learn this and I thought this was a key aspect of this particular module. And this is where, and really from a legal profession perspective, this is where, the procedural modules play a key role. Your civil procedure, your applied legal studies, and your law clinic. So, and I think when I sent you the bio, I also mentioned that another research interest of mine is artificial intelligence in legal education. The fact of the matter is that the world of work is changing. So we constantly have to make sure that what we teach aligns with what's happening out there. That's one of the things that I think are a key solution. Being cognizant of what's happening in practice, being cognizant of what workplaces require,
Yes.
and making sure to equip students with those tools so that when they get there, they don't suffer. So that when they get there, they are not starting over, like you said. You felt like you wasted 4 years and
Yes.
you paid a lot of money for
Yes.
those 4 years.
Yes.
So constantly integrating and aligning is necessary.
And updating the curriculum.
Updating curriculum. So one of the arguments I make in that research about AI is that I even taught this to my first year students. I gave them like an analogy, right? I used ChatGPT and another AI developed by one of the firms in South Africa. And I asked these AIs questions that were assignments when I was a student. So draft a legal memorandum. I asked ChatGPT, did it in seconds. And you look at that memo, it's stellar. Okay. The other AI, I asked to write a letter of demand. This was also an assignment when I was a student. That AI does it in seconds too. So it's like, okay, you can't ask students now to write a letter of demand because when they get out there, they're gonna get it. It's like also having to memorize pleadings. And when you get out there, there's templates of pleadings.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like you're wasting time.
You're wasting time. So
yeah.
let's focus on the more cognitive stuff.
Okay.
The things that challenge people's thinking.
Okay.
As opposed to having people do the mundane things that technology can do.
Okay.
So I do think that's something.
All right. I love that. Thank you so much for the answer. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of this episode. It felt very, very, very short. Thank you so much for honoring my invite. In closing, a word of encouragement and describe the season of your life in short.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Okay. Word of encouragement, self-doubt does come here and there. But don't dwell in it. Let it pass. Remind yourself why you started constantly.
All right.
Season of my life, I am getting to know Katleho in greater detail.
Love that.
I'm moving into a season of boldness, like I said earlier on. And growth in general, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. And all the best
Thank
with
you.
your PhD.
Thank you so
Can't
much.
wait to see you graduate
Please.
and see you grow. I'm really inspired. Like I said, I find this very interesting and it's such a learning curve for me because it is my dream job.
Yes.
Hopefully the next time we sit here, we'll be colleagues.
Please.
To everybody at home, I hope you know that you don't have to be an attorney. You can go through the academia route. You don't have to go through the stresses or what society expects of you. Happy Employment Wednesdays. And do not forget that you are never alone. You are always gracefully anchored. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you.